Hi everyone, welcome to Meet Me at the SPCA. I am Jim Boudreau, the Executive Director of the SPCA of Tompkins County. We're going to check in now with Liz and Tanya over at our main shelter, who will feature a bunch of wonderful animals available for adoption. And then joining me a little bit later in the studio will be Melina Stambolis from a medical staff at the shelter. And we're going to talk about some of the recent transports that we've done with some animals from the south. So stay tuned and enjoy, and I'll see you back here in a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Liz. I'm a volunteer at the shelter. I'm what's known as a feline friend. We socialize the cats, play with them, pet them. This is Larry. He's 8 months old. Larry and his brother came up from Maryland, possibly from a high-kill shelter, so he's a very lucky kitty. He's very, very sweet, but he's a little shy. He likes to be petted. He's got beautiful green eyes and a luscious black coat, as you can see. He gets along really well with other cats, so he'd be wonderful to go to a home with other cats, and he's a friendly, affectionate young boy cat. And he's playful too. He's neutered, microchipped, and vaccinated, as all our cats and dogs at the shelter are. So he's ready to join your family. This is Bella. She was found as a stray in Groton. She's 2 years old. She's very playful, as you can see. She even looks a little kittenish. She has a bit of a quirky personality. Earlier, she was carrying around that mouse in her mouth, growling and chasing the feather toy at the same time. So she would be very entertaining for the right cat-savvy person. Come here, girl. She's spayed, microchipped, and vaccinated, and ready to be a fun addition to your home. Come here, girl. This is Tina. She's 2 years old. She looks a lot like a kitten. She's what we call a torby. She's in between a tabby and a tortoiseshell. Beautiful golden and black and brown coloring, and she's got little tiger stripes on her legs. Her owner surrendered her because they couldn't take care of her anymore. She's really affectionate. They described her as a cuddle bug. She slept on their bed at night. Tina gets along really well with other cats. So if you have cats at home, you'd like to bring a beautiful young girl home as an addition, she'd be a great choice. She's really sleek and elegant, and she's checking out her surroundings, but she'd love to spend lots and lots of time cuddled up on your lap and sleeping on the couch with you and sleeping on the bed. She's just a beautiful sweetheart needing a home.
You sit. Good girl. Hi, my name is Tanya, and I'm a volunteer at the SPCA of Tompkins County, and I'm going to introduce you to some of the adoptable dogs at the SPCA. This is Kiko, who I might just have to take home myself. I adore this girl. She's a 3-year-old pit, and she's found as a stray. I can't imagine why anybody wouldn't claim this girl. She's just so happy-go-lucky. She's great on a leash, and she sits for treats. She's a good girl. When I first met her, this is what she did. She just loves people. Oh, I love you. She won't be here long. She's a love. Good girl. And she loves to curl up in your lap and fall asleep. And she snores kind of like a pig. And she loves playing with a squeaky thing. Can you play with a squeaky thing? Go get it. I thought you liked playing with a squeaky thing. You don't bring it back? She's tested well with other dogs. Give me that toy. Give me that toy. She's tested well with other dogs, but as with any person who wants to adopt a dog at the SPCA, we have them test with the person's dog, make sure they get along. Wee. Good girl. Good girl. Kiko. Kiko. Give me that toy. Give me that toy. All right, come meet Kiko before I take her home. Good girl. This is Joe. He's a 1.5 lab hound mix. He just recently was transported up from a high kill shelter in the south. So he was saved from euthanasia. He most certainly would have been killed down there. So very lucky to be here at SPCA of Tompkins County, where he is sure to be adopted quickly. He's just so wonderful, happy-go-lucky, loves to sniff, loves to go on walks, and is very, very easy on a leash. But yes, he loves sniffing. He's great with other dogs. He's actually been housed with other dogs, so good with other dogs. What a sweet boy. Joe loves being outside and walking around and sniffing, so a family that likes to be active would be good for him. But he is great snuggler and lover and kisser of the noses. And he'll be scooped up soon. Won't you, boy? Mwah. Come meet Joe. This is Creed. She is Joe's sweet sister. So a 1.5-year-old lab hound mix. Such a sweet girl, as you can see. She loves walks, she loves sniffing. She follows her nose wherever it goes. She does well with other dogs, so she's been housed with other dogs. And loves people, loves giving them kisses, is snuggly. She's got it all. Don't you, Creed? Good girl. Good girl. Come meet Creed.
My name's Edwin, and I volunteer with the cats at the SPCA. I'm here to talk about introducing your newly adopted cat to your current feline resident. It's important to remember that slow and steady wins the race. First, you'll want to confine your newly adopted cat to its own room with its own litter box, food and water dish, toys, and feed the new feline resident next to the door and have your current cat eat nearby on the other side. Swap blankets, beds, and brushes between the two rooms so the cats can get accustomed to each other's scent. Once the new cat is feeling comfortable, confine the resident cat and allow the new cat to wander around your house. This allows the newcomer to be familiar with her surroundings before coming face to face with other animals. Allow the animals to see each other through a crack in the door. Repeat this process numerous times over several days until you're confident they seem fine with each other. Some hissing and swatting is normal, but if the cats start fighting, you'll want to separate them and start the reintroduction process over. Make sure to give them a chance to calm down before doing so. Try to keep the resident cat's schedule as close to the normal schedule as possible, so no added stress occurs. If the introductions don't go smoothly, be sure to call us at the SPCA or seek professional advice. We're always willing to help.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the animals that we have available for adoption at the shelter. Today we're going to talk with Melina Stambolis from our med staff about some of the recent transports that we've done. And a few years ago, we were very lucky enough to work with, to begin a relationship with Best Friends Los Angeles, who were working to transition that city to a no-kill city. And because of the size and scope of their issue, one of the only ways that they were able to do that was through transporting animals out of that city. So we started working with them to transport small dogs from the city of Los Angeles to New York, and we would go down to JFK and pick them up. Since then, we've probably taken in over 150 dogs in the past 3 years from various sources outside of our community. This year, we were lucky enough to work with the ASPCA and Subaru USA through their Share the Love promotion. The ASPCA started a MAP program online, which basically stands for Moving Animals Places. And what it does is it connects shelters that have space that can take animals coming in with shelters that are facing overpopulation issues or struggling with issues that they might have and the need to transport animals out. We were very lucky this year as a MAP partner to receive a $5,000 grant through the ASPCA to help underwrite and subsidize the cost of transports. Last week, we were able to transport in 12 dogs from Alabama, most of whom you just saw with Tanya on our adoptions floor, who are now available for adoption. So we're going to talk a little bit about how transports work, some of the issues that surround them, and why they're important to us. So Melina, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So why don't you tell us just a little bit about you and your past experience?
I am a registered veterinary technician from California. I have quite a bit of experience in shelter medicine working at the San Francisco SPCA, where that SPCA was also very fortunate to be able to transport animals from shelters in other counties that needed kind of a relief valve to help them decrease their euthanasia rates and increase adoptions. It also gave us the opportunity at the San Francisco SPCA to increase our adoptions because we were fortunate enough to be in a county where there were active adopters looking for animals. So we were able to take animals from shelters out of county where they did not have active adopters looking for pets to adopt.
Great. So, you know, we are very lucky at the Tompkins County SPCA to have certain times of year, generally in the winter times, when our populations are low enough that we can do this. So I think it really depends on the shelter's ability to have the space and resources available to be able to take these animals in. You know, transports, as you know, are a pretty complicated endeavor. This transport from Alabama, for instance, involved several volunteers at that shelter, getting the animals ready, getting them vaccinated, and then we worked with a service to transport the animals from Alabama to Binghamton, where we went down and picked them up. I mean, one of the things that we realize is that sort of lengthy process can be pretty stressful on an animal. Have you seen that these animals respond poorly to these sorts of transports, or do you find that they adjust pretty quickly?
Well, it certainly depends on the animal. Each animal has their individual personalities and they respond differently to different types of stress. I think in general, most animals that are chosen for transport in these types of situations are usually highly adoptable animals that have passed certain behavior tests, and they're usually pretty happy-go-lucky. I don't think that the transport itself tends to affect them too much. I think from what I've seen, mostly the change in environment can sometimes cause stress, which can lead to other problems. But the travel in general for most of these animals seems to be fine. And usually after coming to their new shelter, so to Tompkins County SPCA in this example, after a few days of working with our staff, they seem to adjust relatively well.
Yeah, we all love having them, obviously. So what are some of the dangers that these transports can carry with them as well?
There are a number of dangers of transporting animals especially from out of county. The biggest problem is probably worry about infectious disease. So the animals from different counties bringing infectious disease with them from their other shelters into our shelter. So, and that could be anything from some of the more threatening diseases like distemper, parvo, and panleukopenia, to things like upper respiratory infections like kennel cough, and intestinal parasites like giardia or different types of worms and things like that. So that's always a danger because those types of things are extremely contagious and can spread to other animals that are already in the shelter.
Right. Yeah, I know we spend a lot of time making sure that we've got complete vaccination history on them, and we, medically assess them when they come in. So a couple years ago, last year, when we did one of our best friends transports, we actually videotaped a lot of the process, and our good friends over at Moving Box Studios put together a little video on one of our Chihuahua transports, as we like to call it. So next, we're going to look at one of the videos that Moving Box produced for us, where it sort of documents the process of bringing these animals into town and the experience that we had doing it. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and then we'll be checking back in with Sarah Post a little bit later for a Happy Tales adoption update and to see which of the pets that we've looked at for adoption have been adopted already. So thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Melina.
Thank you.
And please enjoy the video. Typically, we don't have money in our budget to do something like this. So it's really through, best friends and their generosity and their mission that we were able to do this. Their partnership with American Airlines helped get them transported from the West Coast to here. So all we really had to do was go down to JFK and pick them up. So to us, it seemed like a really small price to pay to save such a large amount of animals at one time. 11 years ago, the SPCA of Tompkins County made the commitment to be a no-kill shelter, and a lot of communities have followed suit. But it's been very difficult for large municipalities and cities like Los Angeles to make that commitment because of the scope of their problem. A lot of times transfers are the only way that other communities can even come close or strive to be the way that we are here, and to make sure that they're not having to euthanize hundreds of dogs or cats for no reason other than for space. They were 20 dogs in total, most of them Chihuahua and Chihuahua mixes. Sadly, several years ago, Chihuahuas sort of became a designer breed on the West Coast, and as a result, puppy mills sort of started mass producing them to meet the demand of the people.
We rented a very large cargo van. Driving around New York City was a bit stressful. But it ended up working out really well. We left at about 4 p.m. on Thursday night and packed up the van for supplies. We really had no idea what to expect when we got down there. It was so relieving in a way to actually see them waiting for us. So there was like 10 all strapped together. And
Seeing them when they came off that plane was a little heart-wrenching at first. You know, they were treated as cargo for sure.
A couple of them were a little bit scared, but basically they were wagging their tails and barking and just happy to see somebody.
They seemed relieved to see us too. I'm sure it was a pretty scary experience for them.
They all seemed to be in good spirits. There was certainly a lot of barking going on, you know, just from the excitement, but I think pretty much overall they were probably just very tired from the, you know, trip across the country.
They made sure they were all comfortable and then drove back with them and got back here about 6 in the morning.
They did great, and they made it back with no incidents, and we were happy to have them home here in Ithaca when we got them back.
There's clearly a demand for these small dogs, so the more we can help and the less that are euthanized, the better for everybody, you know, all the adopters and the dogs themselves. And for us too, a lot of people are finding out about our shelter who's never heard of it before.
So it's pretty scary to think that traditional shelters, and even the worst cases out there, are euthanizing almost 70% of the animals that come to them. So an opportunity to do something like this was really important to us.
I mean, it's such a good feeling to know that, you know, we have people that want them here and that we can take them out of their shelter and give them a little bit of relief.
A lot of times communities sort of make excuses as to why they can't transition to no-kill. A lot of it is due to concerns of costs and you know, populations and size of facility. And we've been very successful at doing this for the last 11 years, even to the point now where we can accept transfers from out of the area like these guys. We did a press release, we let everybody know that we had gotten them, and you know, we're holding an adoption event this weekend to get them all adopted. We did only take in 20 dogs, and we had over 60 calls of potential adopters. So we anticipate that they'll go very quickly. We really hope that they'll have a great chance at a new life here in Tompkins County.
This is Coco. We adopted her from the SPCA 3 weeks ago. She's one of the 20 dogs that came from California. We were really lucky to find her because we've been looking for a dog during the summer. And she's fit into the family wonderfully. She's a great addition, and we're really lucky to have her.
We adopted this little boy from SPCA like maybe 4 weeks ago. We're having a lot of fun with him, and this is the dog. Was brought from California and rescued from putting down, and we're very thankful for it because we're having a lot of fun with him at the house. I want to thank you, SPCA, for rescuing these dogs and bringing them here and giving them a good home.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Belmond, and this is my dog Milo, who I adopted from the Tompkins County Animal Shelter about 3 weeks ago. He's about 1 year old, and he's been really great so far. He loves to cuddle and he loves to play. And I'd really like to thank the Tompkins County Animal Shelter for letting me adopt him and also letting me volunteer there and help out with other adoptions.
Hi, my name is Sarah Post, and I'm the Adoptions Manager at the SPCA of Tompkins County, and I'm here to report on some Happy Tales adoption update. But first, an update on some previous animals. Since last week's episode, Josephine the cat and Dexter the chocolate lab have been adopted. We can't wait to hear how they're doing in their new forever homes. The first update I'm going to share with you is from Garfield, who recently came to us from an out-of-county hoarding situation. He was adopted just a week and a half ago, and this is what his owner reports. He says, "Just thought I would drop you an update on Garfield before going to bed. He's doing amazing. He's been stuck to my side like glue since we came home. He was nervous the first night and has been getting better ever since. He sleeps on the bed with me and has a whole house for himself. Garfield has been being treated to an hour walk every afternoon, and gets all kinds of TLC from the family. He met my friends on Friday and was great. Garfield even left my lap for a while to go sit by the feet of some of our guests. I think he's getting happier every day. I can tell by a lot of his mannerisms. We've already begun working on some basic commands, and he's doing really well. This little guy is too cute and too sweet for his own good. We have an appointment to visit the groomer tomorrow and to meet the vet on Tuesday. I couldn't have asked for a more fitting dog. He snuggles with me in bed, sits on my lap during the day, and follows me around everywhere I go. It's exactly what I was hoping for. And our next update is on Holly, who was a transport from Los Angeles 2 years ago. And here's her story. Holly has adapted well to the pleasures of her forever home. One of her favorite things to do is sit on the back of the chair next to the window and watch the world go by. She loves going for long walks in the woods and has bonded nicely with her 3 sister cats, often sharing a comfy spot on the bed with them. We are so happy this sweet little dog was fortunate enough to make the long trek from California to be a part of our lives. If you would like to share your Happy Tales adoption update, visit our SPCA Facebook page, search for SPCA of Tompkins County, or send an email to adoptions@spcaonline.com. Thank you.